Hello there and welcome to another exciting edition of Sister Sister on City TV and of course 97.3 City FM. Really excited to come your way once again, and of course the show is brought to you by Vodafone. Now, coming up in the show today, we have quite a number of things we'll be talking about, some of which include, do you go ahead to marry your partner after your pastor has advised against it? And also there is a woman who is just having a really terrible time sexually with her husband, and she's so frustrated, and we'll be hearing her story as well. So we'll get into all that shortly. Don't forget, though, there are various ways that you can reach us on the show today, and they haven't changed. I'll get into it, and we get to meet our sisters as well on the show today. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere. And you're welcome back, Sister Sister, brought to you by Vodafone. Yes. So before we get into our messages for the day, let me first and foremost share with you the various avenues in which you can communicate with us, be a part of the show, be a part of the conversation. And you can do so via WhatsApp to 054-998-6996. You can send an email to jessica@cityfmonline.com as well, or you can search for us on Facebook. Search for Sister Sister Live, Live, like our page, and send us a DM or interact with us. We sometimes put some of the messages we get, since we get numerous messages, on our social media platforms, and lots of people join in to offer advice. So you can be one of, the team. Now, that being said, let's say hello to my sisters today. I've got two in studio, and one who will be joining us virtually as always. Let me start with Tina. How you doing? Everything okay?
Yes, everything is fine.
Nice one.
Thanks for having me.
Indeed.
I miss you. Small.
But okay. I guess this is the point where I say I missed you too, right?
No.
Like I can lie about it.
You can't. Just say you don't miss me.
Okay. I miss you small. Small. All right. And we have Gail in the studio as well. She was with us as a panelist for the first time on our last episode, and people just fell in love with you, Gail.
They did.
Trust me. I got messages after messages like, keep Gail, please keep Gail. True.
Wow.
Yeah, they absolutely loved you.
I'm
so
humbled.
thank you so much for making time again.
Thanks for
to be
having
here.
me. I had a blast.
Yeah.
I did.
Great. And
I'm smiling, but you can't see.
Yeah, I know, because of your mask. But that's fine. And Olivia is also on the line. Hello, Livy. What's going on with you?
Hey, I'm good. It's nice to see you.
Indeed.
You guys look amazing. Oh my gosh.
I know, Charlie.
I miss you all so much. You look amazing.
Thank you very much. And I'm sure one of these days you'll be sitting here in the studio with us as well.
That'll be cool.
Good to know. All right, so we'll delve right into action. No long tin. Remember, this show is also live across Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, on DSTV channel 363. We're also on GoTV channel 182. So every channel, every avenue has been covered, and that's being done especially for you right here on City TV and City FM. Let's go right into it. So, first message says, Dear sisters, I've been dating a lady for almost 5 years, and we were or are preparing to get married. 2 years ago, however, I found out that she had been cheating on me with 3 different guys on different occasions, and another one whom she claimed was a childhood friend who stayed abroad. She cheated on me with a guy when he visited Ghana back in 2018. When I confronted her about what I had found out, she narrated everything and asked for forgiveness. I thought it wise to forgive her and move on with her because I felt she had regretted her actions. To my surprise, I found out recently that she has been chatting with her so-called childhood friend whom she cheated on me with. When I asked her about it, she told me they're just friends now, but the kind of things I saw in the chat were not friendly. She has also become very arrogant. She does not regard me at all. These incidents have made me lose my trust in her, but I am still in love with her so much. I'm a victim of a broken home, and I don't want my children to go through the same kind of pain I went through when I was growing up. Due to the above incidents, I have become so confused and scared to go ahead with a marriage. Please advise. And that's our first message for today. Let me come in studio. Gail, since you're a superstar for the moment, I'll throw this right to you.
Wow.
I mean, what do you think? She's been a cheat for a while now. She's confessed to it. It doesn't seem like she's moved on with this childhood friend who's in the picture.
Wow.
And this guy is having doubts as to whether he'll continue. If it was your brother, what would you advise him to do?
I mean, what struck me is what he said about the broken home thing that he's worried about. But if this is the path you're on with her, obviously, if you go ahead and get married to her, you're definitely going to have a broken home because there's no trust. And trust is, should I say, the glue that binds a relationship. I mean, for lack of a better phrase. So if there's no trust, it shows that there's a problem between you and her, for her to be seeking, should I say, satisfaction or fulfillment elsewhere, even after you caught her, excuse me, even after you caught her with someone else and then she's still communicating with that person, it shows that there's a big problem between, you and her. So I think the guy should rather focus on why she's not being fulfilled with him, but finds it elsewhere. So maybe there's something that he's doing wrong. It could be their communication. It could be that because he's all the way there and she's in Ghana, right? So the long distance relationship thing is always very, very difficult because it's not only about I love you, you love me, and we have a connection or what, but it's also about spending time with the person.
Yeah, he's in Ghana.
Oh, he's in Ghana, she's out there.
No, they're both in Ghana. But she has a link to a childhood friend.
Who came from Ghana
who lives abroad.
Okay.
He came to Ghana in 2018 and they had a thing going, which her current boyfriend has found out about.
So when he came down and then she had an affair with the guy.
That's right.
Okay, forgive me then. I thought it was a long distance thing. So then you see, what I always say is that when there's a problem in a relationship, there's always the roots of the problem, not the smoke, but the fire itself, what caused the fire. And so like I was saying, it could be that they have a communication problem. It could be that there's something that he's doing that she's not really like, she doesn't like. Maybe they are not, this thing is coming off.
I know, don't worry. Just
it's
mass problems.
So I think that maybe they're not compatible in so many ways. It could be sexually. Maybe they're not compatible sexually. I feel that's what I'm thinking. And so maybe she's not able to communicate it well to the guy, or maybe he is not accepting or being accessible enough for her to let him know how she feels. So maybe she has a better connection with that guy. And you realize that she said he found out and confronted her before she admitted to it.
Right.
So obviously, if he didn't confront her, she will still continue doing. And so, having said all of that, I feel like there's no trust. They're not on the same page. And for someone to think of getting married to someone, it should be based on how connected both of you are before you can say, I want to make it official. So if he's having all these doubts, especially about trust, which is the main thing in a relationship, I think he doesn't have to go ahead and marry her. I think he should take a step back, because when you do that, you're able to see things clearly. Someone once told me that when there's this game, I think it's baseball, I think.
Okay.
When you're about to bat the ball, you're told to look away for a second, I think, before you bat the ball. That means when you look away and then you look back, it makes you see things clearly.
I see.
So I always apply that to anything I do, that when I'm in a situation where everything is all over the place, I step back a bit, from it, and then look at it from a different angle, and then ask yourself, is this what I want? Does she possess the standards that I'm looking for in a partner? Obviously, it's not going the way he wants. So I think he should just I think you should step back.
Right.
I think, because obviously there's no trust here.
All right. Tina, what do you think?
Okay, so I think this is a clear situation of a woman taking her partner for granted, just because she knows that he's into her. So you've given her love, you've shown her everything you can, you've been supporting her in everything, and then she cheated on you. You still forgave her because you thought that, okay, she was going to give everything up and, stay on the straight and narrow. But then, well, alas, she goes back to whoever she thinks. And I think it's because she takes you for granted. The situation is that it will continue. That's the fact of life, because I mean, there's no consequence really to what she has done. Like, you haven't shown her that, listen, you can't take me for granted. You haven't said that, listen, I can't do this anymore. You only said,
I forgive you.
I forgive you. And when she came back, it was like, and you said something that she's arrogant. She's now arrogant. She's throwing herself about. So this is somebody who clearly is not interested in what's going on. Your love is on two different platforms. You are way up there and she is down here somewhere. Somebody else has taken her interest. And unfortunately for people, I won't even say just women, when things are far away and out of reach, we think that it is more interesting than what we have like at the moment. So maybe the kind of conversations and stuff like that she's having with this person abroad, she feels like it's more engaging than you. She sees you every day. Probably you're not doing something right, like Gil was saying. So this is what I think you should do. I think you should have a conversation with her that you want to take some time off, or you just are not happy with the situation going on. Don't give her the chance to leave you. Don't say that if she doesn't want the thing anymore, she should go. But tell her you can't do this anymore.
Right.
Her position or her posture when you have that conversation will make you know whether she really wants this or not. So have that conversation, definitely. Let her know that you really love her. You really want this to work. You're coming from a background where, lay everything on the table, but by all means, it should be a serious conversation, right, so she knows that this is no joke, And then her posture, the way she says things to you, if her arrogance comes to play at that conversation, you know that this is not for you. Don't waste your time. It's painful, but move on.
Yeah. All right, Livy, let me come straight to you. I mean, the ladies have said quite a bit. What are your thoughts? Do they differ?
My thoughts, this one, no long terms, gentlemen and co. Because, do you know what I think? This is exactly what happens when people don't completely end previous relationships. Her childhood sweethearts, they had a thing going on and all of that. And she didn't completely disconnect, or she didn't completely break up with this guy. How many years down the line, she decides to move on, but she still has some kind of ties with this other person. So my question is, did she get into her next relationship out of convenience? Did she genuinely love the guy for who he is? With what motive did she enter that particular relationship? And this childhood sweetheart comes back, and all of a sudden, she's forgotten about the time, the sacrifice, the love, all this guy is putting into the relationship that they're in. I mean, for crying out loud, this guy is ready to marry you like yesterday. And she doesn't see it. Now she's become arrogant. Not only did she cheat on you, this guy, emotionally, but she actually cheated on you. Like, she did both. Emotionally, she's not with you. Intimately, she's not with you. I mean, the girl has crossed the equator. There's no way she's coming back. And I don't see why you should be investing a lot of money into marrying her, and then how many years down the line you end up investing more money into divorcing her. This relationship ain't going nowhere, my guy. Like, I'm sorry, it's hard, but this is not what love is supposed to be. This woman already, right, the marriage hasn't started and she's arrogant. She can't stand you because she's madly in love with somebody else. So who are you exactly to her? Wait, no long terms. You know what? If I were you, right, I'll just go to her and tell her that, Charlie, you forgave her the first time, which is amazing. Like, I don't know how many guys will do that, because for me, I feel like if she was able to cheat the first time, right, and then she claims to have changed, and she still hasn't changed, what makes you think that putting a ring on her finger and tying her down for the next 20 years, she's going to be faithful? Like, that is a recipe for disaster. I always say that. If you're in a relationship and you manage to stay faithful and you treat that relationship as though it was a serious one, as though it was marriage, and you are faithful, the tendency that you stay faithful in your marriage is high. The temptations will come. Charlie, whether you're married, you're not married, temptations will come. But at least it's a habit you've built over time. You've been able to build that discipline in the relationship. So it makes it easier for you to follow through. Okay, I'm not saying that, temptations won't come. They will always come. But Charlie, once you're disciplined and you know that, Charlie, this is the person I've decided to be with, then at least you have your head screwed on properly. My guy, cancel the wedding. Don't marry her. Love is sometimes overrated. Yes, you think you love her today, right? This woman is going to turn you into something else that you don't want to be. You marry her, she will cheat on you, she will disrespect you. If she marries you, she's marrying you because society demands that, she has to marry, and Charlie, or maybe the guy that she's with is not ready to marry her. My thing is, she should decide, it's either you or it's him. But clearly, it's not you. First time you give her a chance, I don't think you should be wasting your time. Don't waste your heart. It hurts, I know. But you will recover. You will find somebody who respects you, who appreciates your love, who loves you as a person with no reason. Okay, but for now, looking at the background from which you're coming in, break up, you don't want that for your children. And just let that be your motivation. And like they always say, success is good revenge. Success is the best vengeance you ever want to get. Okay, so right now, cancel the wedding. This is what I think. Cancel the wedding. Try and stay focused. If you're working, decide to put a lot of energy into working, and like be more in terms of, don't jump quickly into the next relationship. Okay, give yourself time to heal. Give yourself time to chill and take your time and find somebody. I know it's hard finding a good person, but there are good people out there and you will find a good person. For now, don't jump into this marriage. It is not worth it, my dear. You will find that person who will love you for you. And you'll have an amazing life, and your children will have a stable home. But one thing I would also advise is that, like I always say, just ask God for the spirit of discernment. Me, that's what I did. I knew there were all sorts of guys out there. So I just asked God, Charlie, I don't know who is a player. I don't know who is coming in to want to sleep with me. I don't know. People get into relationships with all sorts of reasons. So I just pray to God, give me the spirit of discernment to be able to discern who is right and who is not. And to open us who wasting the time out. I'm to take a time out. And then God gave me one person who is good, and I am happy and I have peace of mind. And I think you can also get that. So I went to a wise God enough.
Nice one. Well, my dear guy, I think all the ladies are singing the same song. I personally think it's not help you need. You just need to wake up because you're sleeping. No, seriously. And Tina, you say this sometimes, where sometimes tell your own story to yourself with a different ear.
And you see how it sounds.
How ridiculous
it sounds.
Yeah, it's true.
It sounds like
It's true.
it's so obvious. She doesn't respect you. She's cheated on you before. I feel like she's bored. She's uninterested or disinterested. Only reason she's staying around is she hasn't found someone. If that guy abroad was in Ghana, she would have left you. Trust me. Yeah. She hasn't found someone else to fill in that vacuum. That's the only reason she's still with you. You cannot marry such a woman. Take it from the sisters, okay? And let us know the outcome. We really want to know. In the meantime, there's some comments. Ben says, to avoid a broken home is more reason why you should leave her. Michael says, we don't marry because of love. Oh. If you truly want to be happy or have a happy family, then forget about love and choose character over love. Maoli says, I'm surprised you're mentioning marriage in this kind of relationship. You're only joking with your own emotions. What love? Lungu says, just ditch her. She's trouble and will be a thorn in your flesh your whole life if you marry her. Nee says, certainly she can't be your helpmate. You can't send anything to your home as a man. Forget her and you will get someone who will regard you. Akusia says, quit the relationship immediately to safeguard your future. This lady won't change even when you marry her. Save yourself from another broken home in future. Nana says, you're not even married to her, and you're talking about broken home. Sitting at my shop in Kofridia, I see why she's cheating on you. You are like late news. Papa says there's no confusion here. You want to break up with her, but your heart doesn't want to let go. Yeah. If you continue this relationship with her and get married to her, your children will eventually experience that broken home. Kwame says trust is like glass. Once broken, it can never be mended. Yeah. If a woman is sleeping with another man, then it's obvious she loves that man more than you. So move on. And finally, Mauli says, are you afraid that you will waste the 5 years of dating or what? You're a victim of a broken home, so common sense should be applied here. She has become very arrogant and does not regard you at all. My brother, all these are red flags that you don't need a prophet to tell you to run out of this relationship. And those are a couple of the comments. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, yet another message. And you're welcome back to Sister Sister on City TV and 97.3 City FM. Once again, your comments are welcome. 054-998-6996. You can send an email to jessica@cityfmonline.com, or you can simply like our Facebook page. Search for Sister Sister LIVE. That's Sister Sister Live. Like our page. Send us a DM or comment on all the interactions that go on the page. So I have a pretty short one here, but I'm not sure if the conversation will be short. So it says, I'm domiciled in Europe. She's in Ghana. I've collected the list concerning marriage. She's now telling me that her pastor is telling her that the marriage will not work. This is someone I've planned my entire future with. I'm confused. What should I do? Olivia, what should he do?
Okay, so this is what I think. Two things. This girl, right, if she's in a position whereby she trusts the pastor, everything the pastor says is fine now, right? There's no way you can convince her. And it will be unfortunate, but you will have to let her go. Because she's in a position whereby, she trusts the pastor. Whatever the pastor says is, you'll be fighting a losing battle. But having said that, I'm not saying that don't try, but I don't think that, your love may be enough to make her hold on to you. This is what I think. But if the pastor has just said it, and she doesn't feel too obliged, or he just said it. I still think that there's also another opportunity whereby you guys can actually move past what the pastor said. The question is, are you ready to fight for her? Are you ready to make it work and make her see reason with what you're saying? I don't think it's a lost cause. You can try. But my thing is, if she wouldn't listen to anything else and she would listen to the pastor, I don't think you should pursue it. But see where she's coming from and have that conversation with her. It's either you or is the pastor. And I just feel like love shouldn't be forced. If she thinks that the love that she has with you is good enough, she should be able to marry you irrespective of what people are saying, irrespective of what her mom is saying, what pastors are saying, X, Y, Z. Everything else shouldn't matter but you. And you should matter. The thing is, after speaking to her and after she said that to you, I'm wondering what you also said back to her. Because your response to it is very important. And also finding out what her response, what she also said is also very important. But I don't think that you should let it go that easily. But don't fight too much for it if you feel like you have to force her to be in the marriage with you. Because should something go wrong, she'll say that the pastor said it. She should have listened to the pastor. And Charlie, that's the last thing you want, because however you want to look at it, relationships have ups and downs. Okay, you don't want when something tiny happens, then, hey, breaking news, you run to the pastor. When you guys even have to have sex, hey, the pastor has to go and ask the pastor first before you guys can have sex. Like, Charlie, sometimes these things can be a little bit overrated. You want to be able to enjoy your relationship. Having said that, there are actually good churches out there. and they're actually good. I mean, I'm speaking for everybody. There are good mosques and good, institutions out there who don't do this kind of thing. And Charlie, some way. But fight for it, but don't fight for it too hard. That's all I can say.
All right.
You don't want the pastor meddling up in your marriage. That's all I can say.
Curious, Tina. I mean, if at the time you were going to get married, the pastor said that the marriage would not work, would you go ahead? Just putting ourselves in this guy's.
Oh, okay. So me personally.
Yes.
Oh, I wouldn't mind them.
Okay.
So I think what it is the importance you place on whoever speaks with you or whoever advises you, and also how independent you are in your thought process. So this is my thing. We have people we respect, we look up to, and we were brought and shaped up in certain environments. So, i.e., she was brought up in a Christian environment. Of course, she has pastors, deacons, elderly people in the church who sort of guide her apart from her parents. So this is my thing. Their opinions matter, but to what extent? So when you're growing up and when you're taking time to make decisions and all that, how independent are you? Yes, you listen to everyone's opinions and advice, and then you now sit down and say, okay, mommy said A, daddy said A, but pastor said C. So in my opinion, I actually think I'm gearing towards C. So I will have a conversation with all of them and say, even though you said A, B, C, and D, I actually want to go with B.
Right.
So you pick everyone's thought process, but yours is paramount to everything that goes on.
Okay.
Now, even though the thing, the message was very short and straight to the point, it lacked a few things. I want to know whether she came to say it as a worry, or she also said she agreed with the pastor. Like, sometimes you can be having a conversation with the person that you're going to get married with, and you say, and can you imagine even this pastor said the relationship wouldn't work? It could come across like that.
Right.
Or, pastor so-and-so says that it won't work. Should we pray about it? Or what should we do? It could be that one. Or pastor so-and-so said that it won't work. So I don't even think we should go ahead, we should do this. So we need to know how it was said. And that's how we can approach it. So if it was said jokingly or she was making fun of it, then this is somebody who you know that you are building a life with. She would bring everything to the table. You guys can have a conversation and laugh about it. If it was said in the second manner that I was saying, she's showing concern. Of course, she respects whoever is in her life, the authority in her life. So she's bringing it to the table that, listen, it's something that a pastor has said. I think we should take steps in praying about it, or we should do things that would not bring disgrace to our relationship. So that's number 2. Number 3 is I've taken it as totality. That is what I'm working with. If she is behaving that way, then that one you can't do anything about it, because it's a long distance relationship. If you were here, you could have even proven yourself. You could have visited the pastor together. You could have even found out why the pastor is saying such a thing. But since you are not here, you're not in the game. Long distance relationship is hard. It's so hard, because you don't get to,
just the physical.
Yeah, the physical. It means a lot to interact physically. So everything can be taken out of context, And sorry, you are not. You said you've built your whole life around this person. That's a big mistake. Sure. Do things for you. Don't do things because of someone. A lot of people. It's actually good to do things because of someone, but it's essential that you find peace in that, and you find joy in that thing that you're doing. Don't say you're building your whole life around one person, and then tomorrow if the person leaves you, what do you do? and then you're stuck. You don't know where to go because you fitted the person into every scenario. So please, the first thing you should do is to clarify the context in which she came with, whether it's conversational or final. And then if it's final, now start looking for your plan. Or please, whatever it is, just start thinking that, listen, what if she's not in the picture? What do I do? Right. Start thinking about yourself.
Yeah, plan B.
Do you want to build a life in Ghana regardless of her? So you're getting a place. It shouldn't be where she wants. It's where you want.
Right.
A job, it's where you want to work, what you want to do. Start making that plan because you need to be independent in your thought process. So that's all I have to say about this.
Yeah, very salient points. Gail, do you have any to add to this?
Oh, yeah, I do. You said 5 years, right?
Yes.
We've been building a relationship for 5 years. Where was this pastor? Where was he? Like, I don't get it because, yes, I mean, it takes two to tango, right? And of course, we have other factors that, make the relationship, look good. Maybe family, support, friends, advice. If you're religious, maybe your pastor, or like Olivia said, maybe your is it mom in the mosque?
Yeah.
So fine, but at the end of the day, it's the two of us who decide what we want to do. The pastor was not in the picture. You guys built so much communication and compatibility and everything. 5 years, and out of the blue, you've gone for the list. And in our tradition, when you go for the list, that shows that yes, family have come together. Yeah. We've decided. So I don't get how suddenly he comes in to say. So I'm thinking maybe the lady wants out. That's what I think. I think she wants out because for her to come and tell you that after all this you've received everything, family has decided, and then you say the pastor. I think she wants out. And she cannot tell you.
Possible.
Yeah, I think that's what's going. Because at the end of the day, I mean, even if whoever tells me was happy, if they tell me some witches are planning to mess it up, and at the end of the day, like you said, when she asked you, you said you won't take what's. No. So and I won't do either. At the end of the day, what I want is what I want.
Right.
Because to build a life with someone for 5 years, I'm not saying if it's not working out after so many years, you can't opt out. But I'm saying that for me to put in so much to that point, I don't think I would just listen to one thing someone just said and let it bother me or shake my foundation. No. So I think that she on her own, because she's an adult, she decided to be with you. So if she's telling you, it means that she wants out. So for the guy, he has to start preparing himself mentally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because like I said, it takes two to tango. So if she comes later and tells you, I'm listening to what the pastor says. I mean, you have to be prepared.
Right.
Yeah, because it's going to happen. That's how I say it. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's actually the first thing that crossed my mind, that this girl probably does not want to keep the relationship going, and she was looking for an excuse.
Yeah.
But I mean, even if the pastor did say, I'm from where I sit, like I'm putting myself in the girl's shoes.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I would have told the guy, especially if I know what
keep
I
it
want.
because there's nothing
that he might say, hey,
yeah, for me it wouldn't carry much weight, and especially if I know who I'm going with. And then the thing is, there are no guarantees in life, absolutely none. So the pastor saying it won't work might actually be true, but does that mean you shouldn't try?
Exactly.
That's a whole new conversation altogether.
Yeah, exactly.
Trust me, there are even pastors whose marriages have failed.
Yeah.
You get it.
A lot of them.
It's not easy. Marriage is a whole different level. And if you're not ready for the level of commitment, the sacrifice, it will come crashing down.
Yeah. And it's not because of what someone says.
Exactly. There's several examples around us, so... Yeah, okay, it may not work, but that's okay. At least run your course. If it doesn't work for you, you tried.
And you accept your responsibility.
And you accept responsibility for it. Okay, so I'm not sure about this lady. If she's still pushing the whole pastor agenda, let it go. It's unfortunate that you built your world around her. But Charlie, life happens.
It is what it is.
So my brother, just sit tight and talk to her. If she's not willing to, okay, pastor's spoken, so that's it. Let her go.
Yeah.
It will
hurt.
marry
the pastor then.
But you will heal. Yeah, we should ask that question. Whether the pastor is even single.
Yes.
Pushing his own agenda.
Yes, I know.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah,
You never know.
stories like that. Where
We hear it all the time.
Yeah.
We'll go for another break. We'll be right back. It's Sister Sister on City TV and 97.3 City FM. All right, welcome back. Sister Sister on City TV and 97.3 City FM. So before we go ahead, a couple of messages have hit us right here on the show. So I'll go through it, and they're in relation to the topic we just discussed, or the message we just discussed. Selassie says, and who's the pastor to determine someone's future in the first place? We live in an era where some women respect their pastors more than their parents. It's just sad. Limba says, to be frank, Africa's problems are pastors. They're ruining and breaking homes in the name of spirituality and making people depressed. Na says, let her marry her pastor. We make these silly mistakes and live with the regrets for the rest of our lives. Kweku says, these pastors cry. What do they want? Let her marry the pastor or any of his or her junior pastors. Paco just says, Charlie, move on. The universe is trying to save you from her. Her pastor obviously comes first in her life. Marrying someone like this is just buying frustration and depression for yourself. Kwesi says, don't worry your head, move on, and don't dare look back. A woman who listens to her pastor will do you no good. She can't think for herself. Berema says she's not serious. Why would a man of God pronounce negativity into a marriage? If it won't work, give reasons and don't leave it vague like that. Well, we don't know if... the message itself was vague. So, Paul says, is she religious and not a Christian? She isn't marriage material. You're lucky. Many people weren't this lucky. No true Christian who knows why he or she is a Christian will listen to a pastor when he or she can confirm from God directly. Agnes says, who is this pastor and what is wrong with your woman? I might sound harsh, but on what grounds will the marriage work? Will the marriage not work? I'm very concerned about fake pastors and prophets. However, we need the genuine ones for advice and counseling. And finally, Bright says, it's just good that she exhibited this before marriage, because after marriage, most of her decisions will be informed by her pastor. This is the reason why I will never marry an overly religious lady. They regard their pastors as God. Interesting one there. Let's move right ahead to our next message, and it says, hello sisters, how do I teach an unteachable spirit how to have sex with me? Jess, I'm suffering all. My husband is so difficult to reason with. Why should I be denied an orgasm? Why should my body not enjoy the pleasures of a man's touch simply because my husband isn't good in bed? I can't continue being faithful for the rest of my life if I'm going to be sleeping with only my husband. He is an under 5-minute performer. Sisters, my ex, who was in his late 40s at the time, could even clock 15 minutes and above. Why should a young man be doing under 5 minutes? Jess, what annoys me most is that he's an intolerant braggart. The only way to get wet is to think about one of my exes. Sad, right? My exes weren't perfect, but they could handle a woman in the bedroom. My husband is not the type I can talk to and win an argument. He's always right. I see myself cheating on him, and I don't care if he cheats on me. Seriously, I don't care. I would rather wish another woman good luck in that department. Jess, the things I want to do to a man in bed, that I can't even do with my husband worries me. There's no point to it when it's with him. Useless sex. Waste of time. Sisters, I need to find that papano to give me good sex. I'm a hardworking woman, so I don't need a man to spend on me. I just want good sex. Whoa. Good sex, just great sex.
Wow.
It means a lot to you.
Why are you coming to me?
Oh, no reason in particular.
In this department,
shouting the loudest.
In this department, I don't know too much about it, but a lot of men are looking for women like this, you know.
I know,
in their marriage, I mean, a lot of you hear a lot of women rather not wanting to have sex.
True.
And
Shying
the
away
men
from
are but Charlie, you've got a good thing going, and okay. All right. she sounds like she's had it up to here, and she doesn't care about anything again. What I think, he's not listening to conversations too. Like, he's not listening to anything. She's been prompting.
Intolerant.
How about maybe introducing maybe sex toys or something into the game? Some men also don't feel comfortable with it because
they don't want to compete.
Yes.
Already he's suffering, though. She should bring sex toys.
No, so when she does, it will make him feel as though he's being replaced. Finally.
Yeah.
And maybe he will start listening.
Oh, I see where you're coming from.
It's not for her pleasure per se, it's for prompting, it's for pushing. I'm just saying, because he sounds like she said he's an intolerant burger, Charlie. So he sounds like he's full of himself, and he wouldn't tolerate like a sex toy in there. So she should just use Takashi, take it in there and say that, Masa, to me is the same. We are doing 50-50. You understand? If you go this far, then me too, I have to finish. You know, maybe you need to do it in his face for him to see that for what it's worth, you need to you need to be satisfied. Maybe he doesn't see it. Maybe when you're done, you just get up and probably go about your business, and he doesn't see that you're actually suffering. So finish in front of him.
I get it.
Finish. Like, okay, you're done with your 3 minutes. Then you bring your toy and you come and finish. I'm just saying.
That's savage, though.
Yeah. So because if he won't listen, you're saying I would have suggested you speak with him. You said he won't listen. You are thinking of cheating on him. So instead of going out to cheat on him, I think that you should finish in bed for him to see that, Charlie, you need it.
It's the best of two evils, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm not too. The seniors are here.
The seniors are here.
Let them. Go.
Olivia, she will come there.
You are in SS2. Go on.
Wow. I don't know where to start from. See, women, I don't know if when they say the under 1 minute thing, it's a cliche. I feel like
the 1 minute man thing.
Yeah, I think it's an individual thing.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it depends on how you started your sexual experience. Maybe the person that you started with was like, she wants someone who goes longer. Yeah, so she talked about her ex. So that's what she's used to. So expecting that her partner, her husband, should continue that way. But you know that we all respond to different men differently. So every experience is not the same.
True.
So I feel like before they got married, maybe this conversation should have been had, or they should have experienced it. I know somebody's going to eat me up and say, no sex before marriage, blah, blah, blah. I believe you need to know how sexually compatible you are with your partner before you get married. That's what I think. That's me. Because if you did that, all this wouldn't happen.
Right.
Because there's a physical world, there's a spiritual world. And so, I mean, you can't say your religion is going to cover all of that. If the two of you are not compatible sexually, there's nothing that you can do about it. Especially if the person doesn't want to listen and try and adapt and meet you halfway, you'll always be miserable. So, and that under 1 minute thing, I am someone who doesn't like sex that drags for that long. So for me, if I get someone who is under 1 minute, 2 minutes, I'm fine.
Yeah, cool.
Yes, I'm cool. It depends on what the person does. Because
help me finish my cut.
Foreplay is very, very important.
Yeah,
you see, foreplay is what warms up the woman. Like when you're revving an engine before you move the car, you need to warm the engine. Yeah. So warm her up, warm her up. That's what gets her ready. Because the thrusting, so can I say that? Like the thrusting is like the peak of every section. It's
end line.
But you know that lots of women don't always come by just the thrusting. See, so you need to know your woman. You need to communicate. Know that this is what gets her there before when you come in with the thrusting, and then you can maybe climax together. So under 1 minute, 45 minutes, whatever, that's just besides the point. It's about how both of you connect and what makes both of you get there, you see. So if somebody shouldn't say because she had 45 minutes, she cannot be okay with what she's getting with the guy. They are not connecting. Nobody's listening to anybody. He's not listening because maybe the first person he had was okay with his
1 minute.
And so the person didn't complain.
Yeah, 5 minutes is good. It's good. It's
a lot of hard work for them. So you can't just keep saying what everybody's saying because if you tell your man that this is what I like to do before I get to the final point, he should also listen and be like, okay, maybe if someone else liked that and she is not connecting well, let me meet her halfway. Let's talk about it.
Like 7 minutes.
Yes, or something. Well, maybe the man is not even physically strong. Maybe the man is not physically strong. Yeah, he's not. Maybe doesn't have the stamina. You know, I'm someone who works out a lot, so definitely when I get in contact with somebody else, like the male, he has to have a lot of stamina. Otherwise, I don't like.
Hey, revelations. I don't like.
I don't like the boring. Like I said, the one that drags. I like what I call the jungle sex. It has to. It has to be like mind blowing in that short period. You see. So
I see
jungle sex.
So at the end of the day, she just has to. I think maybe. And I still say the guy is pissing her off as well. Because from what she's saying about him, he's a bragger, he doesn't listen.
Yeah.
She's not finding him attractive, physically and mentally. They need to work on that. Because sometimes I say when you really are into somebody, even if the sex is boring, the fact that you're so much into the person, you're connected to the person, you don't even see those little things. Because you're so connected, there's intimacy, you know what I mean? So they have to I think they have to, start all over again and find out the purpose of why they're together. They need to do that. They have to go for counseling. They need to do that and work on all of that because sexual compatibility is very, very important. Very, very important. Because that's why most people wait till they get married because they wait as a virgin before they get married because they know that that's what, you have to have the license to have sex. That's if you're that religious.
Right.
So I think she should, they need to talk. If the marriage is still important to her, if it's really important to her, and she's not checked out completely, they have to, I think, go back to the drawing board. And I think I'm done.
Okay. Go back to the drawing board.
Go back to the drawing board and start.
Okay, let's bring in the Opemu herself. Olivia, talk to me.
The way Gail was going on about jungle style, Charlie, what's the
You can see her after the show for
Okay, so this one, I can feel your pain. I mean, this woman, you're in the relationship, you're in the marriage with this man, and then you know that it's for better, for worse. So I mean, like I always say, okay, if you don't have a good orgasm. There's the one that you get, and there's multiple ones that you get, the bonus ones that you get. But in all in all, you should be getting it because Charlie, a lot of women, I mean, we all need it for our mental stability, for our happiness, for our peace of mind. Then you are calm. So Charlie, I can only imagine what you're going through. But that's the thing, you have it in you. You have the solution is in you. Okay, so I'm glad that you brought this here, and I'm glad that we'll be able to give you some suggestions in terms of what to do. Gail said something that really was important, and I think that to be able to connect with your man is very important. By now, you're in a state of distress. You are upset. When he comes, you just, you probably just lie down, you open up, because after all, it's just 5 minutes. Okay, so you're not connected, you're disconnected, and then after he gets up, he goes out and he's just blah 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 blah. Meanwhile, he's not Charlie hitting you in the right spot, doing what he's supposed to do to prove that he's a man. He's just acting like a toothless bulldog. So this is what I think. Genuinely, research actually shows that 35% of men suffer pre-ejaculation. Okay, so he's probably thinking that his ego and everything is involved. So at the end of the day, he's done what he can do, take it or leave it. And this is what you settled for. So how do you come or get over this? You can start by trying to connect with him intimately in bed. Foreplay is very important. I mean, without foreplay, if you come obesi super, I mean, me, for example, if you don't take your time, like I was saying the last time, with regards to the wache, but my sisters didn't understand. I was so take your time. And because he doesn't understand, don't allow him. I know you're upset, but put all of that behind you. You can decide not to talk. Don't talk. Don't be moody. Don't be challenged. Isn't the orgasm what you want? What is your overall objective? Is to have an orgasm. So forget what he's done the previous night. And to show him what to do, bring his hand to the right places. Let him get him engaged, get him involved, and take him through the whole foreplay process. Women, we are so powerful. We underestimate how powerful we are. Your body standing there, cry alone, is enough to arouse a man. That's the least, though. So you can imagine. Don't be nagging. Don't be talking. You have to work it out. Get your foreplay. Let him. Maybe he doesn't kiss you. Try and let him kiss you more. Touch him in ways. You can show him indirectly. Tell him that, he should. Isn't this that inside that he wants to get to? Before he gets inside, make sure you do other things before he gets inside, because his overall objective is to get inside. Girlfriend, you got it. So try and get him to do other things. By the time he's realized, he's doing things that he didn't think that you guys would be able to do. And little by little, before he gets inside the promised land, he would have done so much. So take it from there, okay? And there are things that you can do. You handle your kitchen, my dear. I mean, there's a lot of things that you could do. Like I was saying, 35% of men actually suffer premature ejaculation. There's things that you can cook for your man. There's juices that you can make for him. For example, you can try bitter cola, ginger, and lemon. You mix it together.
Recipe again, please.
That thing so shit. I like my thing. I handle my kitchen. I make sure that my husband is okay. On another time, you can do melon, you can do banana, you can do mix it lemon, banana, ginger, alligator pepper. Do you know what they call huintia?
No. Okay.
That with cinnamon. And you freeze it like that and make it chilled and put it in some nice glass. Then you be romancing. Then you give it to him to drink. When he's inside, he's in 5 minutes. By the time you realize in the 5 minutes, it doesn't even mean anything to you. It will give him stamina. And even when you're cooking, black pepper, you can get some at Nima. Regular black pepper, white pepper. No, when you say, Nakakoshito cacao, cacao, dia one. No, when you spicy some shots. Now, look at the sweetheart. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a jog. So he is exercising. It's people say, I can't go far. I don't know who's
No, but Olivia, I mean, you've made your points. And in fact, we're out of time. No, but I've written the recipe. So after the show, I'll contact you for some other tips.
That one too is a good thing. You can buy a party. We have everything in Ghana. Totally, your love life, totally.
No, everything's so. No, I mean, the Ogboro has spoken, so the show is over.
Let's hope it's ready to receive.
No, the show's over. Thank you very much, Olivia, for that one. I missed one recipe, so I'll see you after the show. But I want to give a shout out to Vodafone for bringing us an exciting episode of Sister Sister. If you enjoyed the show, please find us on Facebook at Sister Sister Live. And you can also send your messages ahead of time to Jessica at cityfmonline.com. Thanks, Tina. Thanks, Gail, for coming through. Olivia, of course, for joining us from home. We appreciate that as well. We'll see you same time next week. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching Sister Sister on your favorite City TV. Now, don't forget, if you want some more exciting content, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. We call it the City Tube. And don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications for fresh updates.
Sister Sister, every Friday at 9 p.m. only on City TV.